When you stand before the mirror for the first time, it feels like a test you weren't prepared for. The reflection staring back at you doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat your habits. It doesn't care about your intentions. It shows what you've done, not what you've dreamed. For many, that reflection becomes their greatest enemy, not because it wants to hurt them, but because it reveals the truth. The truth about effort, about commitment, about the nights they chose comfort over consistency. The mirror becomes the voice of accountability that can't be silenced, no matter how much you try to avoid it. The mirror isn't cruel, it's honest, and honesty can feel painful when you know you've been holding back. You might look at it and think, I'm not there yet. But that reflection isn't there to destroy you, it's there to challenge you. It's there to remind you that the person looking back can be rebuilt, refined, and reborn through discipline and faith. Every time you stand there, you're not facing your body, you're facing your decisions. And that's where your transformation begins. The mirror will not respect you until you earn it. You can talk about your goals, you can dream about your future, you can post about your grind, but the mirror doesn't respond to words. It responds to work. It responds to the days when your muscles burn, your lungs scream, and your mind whispers, stop. The mirror waits to see what you'll do next. Will you quit or continue? Because every rep you complete, every excuse you reject, every pain you embrace is a message to that reflection that you're not here to hide anymore. The mirror becomes your greatest enemy when you're weak, but your greatest ally when you're consistent. You can't lie to it, you can't fake it, and you can't rush it. The mirror doesn't respect potential, it respects proof. When you've bled through the grind, when you've lifted through the exhaustion, when you've stayed true to the process, even when it hurt, the mirror starts to change. Not because the glass changed, but because you did. The mirror is one of the most honest things you will ever face in your life. It doesn't care about your feelings, your dreams, or your excuses. It reflects what you have earned, not what you wished for. When you stand before it, it doesn't flatter you or hide your weaknesses. It shows you the truth that many people try to avoid, the reality of your effort, your commitment, and your consistency. Every time you look at it, you're not just seeing your body, you're seeing your history of choices, your nights of struggle, your skipped workouts, and your days of discipline. The mirror is not your enemy because it hates you. It's your enemy because it exposes you. It tells you when you've fallen behind, when you've grown stronger, and when you've been lying to yourself. It holds no bias. It doesn't reward talk. It rewards work. It shows what your actions have built and what your laziness has destroyed. You can tell people whatever you want about your goals, but the mirror will show what's real. When you first start your fitness journey, the mirror can feel cruel. You might not see the results you hoped for. You might see weakness where you wanted strength, softness where you wanted power. But that's not failure, that's feedback. The mirror isn't saying you can't, it's saying you haven't yet. It's the reality check that separates dreamers from doers. It forces you to face the truth that transformation doesn't happen from wishing. It happens from working. The mirror has a language of its own, a silent conversation between your effort and your reflection. Every bead of sweat, every repetition, every late night workout adds a new word to that dialogue. It doesn't speak in praise or criticism, it speaks in results. And those results, whether good or bad, are the most accurate measure of your commitment. The mirror keeps you accountable without ever saying a word. For some, the mirror becomes a source of frustration because it reveals what they're avoiding. It's easier to scroll through social media and compare yourself to others than to face your own reflection and admit you need to improve. But the mirror's purpose isn't to discourage, it's to wake you up. It's a teacher that never lies. It reminds you that effort must continue until progress appears. There's a strange power in standing before the mirror after a hard workout. You see your body tired, your muscles shaking, your shirt drenched in sweat. You see the physical proof that you pushed through. The mirror in that moment reflects not just your image, but your fight. It shows that even though the change may be small, it's happening. Every workout leaves a mark that the mirror will one day reveal clearly. When you see the same reflection day after day, it's easy to think nothing's changing. But the mirror only tells part of the story. The mirror doesn't show your inner strength, your increasing endurance, or your growing discipline. Those things build quietly inside you, and over time, they shape the reflection the mirror finally shows. The mirror's honesty teaches patience, the understanding that true transformation takes time. You might be tempted to look away when you're not proud of what you see. But that's exactly when you need to look harder. The reflection may not yet show your goal, but it shows your starting point. It's the foundation you'll build on. Avoiding your reflection doesn't erase the truth, it delays your progress. The mirror's honesty can be uncomfortable, but discomfort is the first step toward growth. There comes a moment when you realize the mirror isn't your enemy, it's your greatest motivator. The reflection that once frustrated you starts to drive you. You start wanting to prove to yourself that you can change what you see. The same truth that hurt you becomes the fuel that moves you. The mirror's honesty becomes your challenge, and you accept it every time you step into the gym. The mirror doesn't lie because it can't. It's a reflection of effort, not emotion. It doesn't care how you feel about your progress. It only reflects what you've done to earn it. It doesn't flatter, it doesn't fake, it tells the truth. And while truth can be harsh, it's also freeing. Because once you face the truth, you know exactly what to do next. You stop pretending, stop complaining, and start working. Every time you stand in front of the mirror, you're not being judged, you're being tested. The mirror doesn't exist to condemn you or to remind you of what you lack. It exists to measure your commitment. When you look at your reflection, it's not asking how perfect you are, it's asking how persistent you've been. The mirror tests your patience, your honesty, and your willingness to face the truth about your effort. It doesn't hand out approval or criticism, it simply reflects back what your actions have earned. This test isn't about appearance alone, it's about the discipline that builds it. The mirror asks if you've been consistent when no one was watching, if you've trained when your body begged for rest, if you fueled yourself with the right choices when it was easier to give in to comfort. It doesn't test your talent, it tests your endurance. You can't cheat it, and you can't argue with it. The reflection you see is the result of how you've chosen to live when no one else could see. Most people look at the mirror as a place of judgment, a reminder of flaws, of goals not yet achieved, of effort that hasn't fully paid off. But those who understand the gym know better. They see it as a test of progress, a checkpoint that challenges them to keep going. The mirror doesn't say you failed, it says you're not done. It doesn't discourage you, it dares you. It dares you to return stronger, to lift heavier, to become more disciplined than the person staring back at you. When you start seeing your reflection as a test, everything changes. You stop seeking validation and start seeking growth. You stop asking, why don't I look like them? And start asking, have I done what I promised myself? The mirror becomes a daily exam that only you can pass. There's no one to impress and no one to blame. You and the reflection are the only two in that test room, and honesty is the only answer that matters. This test has no shortcuts. You can't fake your way through it. Every skipped workout, every undisciplined choice, every moment of laziness, the mirror records it all silently. It's not judging, it's documenting. Then, when you stand before it, the truth appears. The reflection becomes your report card, written in muscle, posture, and confidence. The more disciplined you are, the higher your results. The less consistent you've been, the clearer your weakness appears. The beauty of this test is that it's not final. The mirror's reflection can always be changed. You can fail it 1 week and improve the next. It gives you the opportunity to retake it every single day. You don't need anyone's permission to improve. The mirror resets your exam every morning you wake up. Every workout you do, every meal you plan, every step you take toward your goal becomes an answer to that ongoing test. The reflection tests more than your body, it tests your spirit. It shows whether you've allowed struggle to shape you or break you. When you're tired and your muscles ache, the mirror reminds you why you started. When you see slow progress, it tests your patience. Will you continue even when results are invisible? This is where the difference is made, not in the easy days, but in the days when you pass the test through persistence alone. You'll notice something powerful when you begin to respect the mirror's test. It starts to reveal more than muscle. It shows growth in your eyes, in your posture, in your presence. You stand taller, move with confidence, and speak with quiet assurance. The mirror starts to reflect not just physical change, but emotional and mental strength. It shows the evolution of a person who stopped running from the truth and started using it as motivation. Those who misunderstand the mirror allow it to control their emotions. They feel defeated when it doesn't show immediate change. But those who understand its purpose use that same reflection as fire. They see it as proof that progress requires more work. They don't get discouraged by what's missing, they get focused on what's possible. The mirror is not the end of your effort. It's the beginning of your next push. Every glance in the mirror is a new test of your dedication. It doesn't matter if you're at the beginning or deep into your journey, the mirror will always challenge you to do more, to become more, to rise above who you were yesterday. It's not a judge sitting in a courtroom, it's a trainer watching silently, taking notes on how much heart you've put into your work. And while the test never ends, the progress never stops either. Respect in the gym, like respect in life, is not given, it's earned through consistency. The mirror doesn't start admiring you on your first workout. It doesn't reward excitement or good intentions. It waits for your actions to speak. It watches silently as you show up day after day. When you're sore, tired, and unmotivated, it doesn't care about how strong you were yesterday. It cares about how consistent you are today. Because real transformation doesn't happen through one powerful moment. It happens through hundreds of small, disciplined decisions stacked on top of each other. Consistency is what separates those who talk about goals from those who achieve them. Many people begin their fitness journey with energy and passion, but passion fades quickly when results come slowly. The mirror has seen countless people start strong and give up just as fast. It doesn't respect bursts of effort. It respects endurance. It reflects back the truth whether you are a temporary spark or a steady flame. It shows if your habits are stronger than your excuses. Each time you train, your body and mind record it. Consistency builds patterns, and patterns create results. When you lift regularly, eat cleanly, and rest properly, your reflection starts to shift, even if slowly. The mirror may not show instant change, but it notices. It begins to reveal the marks of discipline, tighter muscles, improved posture, sharper eyes. These signs come gradually, like the rising of the sun. You don't notice them happening in the moment, but one day you see the difference clearly, and so does the mirror. The reason consistency earns respect is because it demands sacrifice. It means training when it's inconvenient, saying no to distractions, and sticking to your plan when everyone else takes the easy path. The mirror starts to respect you when you choose structure over comfort. It reflects not only your physical progress, but also your growing strength of will. Every time you push through fatigue, you build a deeper bond between your mind and your body, and that's when the reflection begins to transform. People often search for motivation, but motivation is temporary. It fades when you're tired or when life becomes busy. Consistency doesn't depend on emotion. It depends on discipline. It's a promise you make to yourself and keep. The mirror becomes your witness to that promise. It watches as you train even when no one claps for you. It records the quiet mornings, the late nights, and the hours of work that no one else sees. It respects that level of dedication because it's real. Consistency also builds trust, not just with the mirror but within yourself. When you show up regularly, you start believing in your own word. You stop doubting whether you can do it because your actions prove you can. The mirror begins to show not only strength but also confidence. There's a calmness that comes from knowing you've earned your progress honestly. The respect the mirror gives is simply a reflection of the respect you've built within yourself. It's not about perfect days. It's about showing up despite the imperfect ones. There will be days when your body feels weak or your mind feels distracted. But even on those days, consistency has power. A lighter workout is still better than none. A small step forward is still progress. The mirror doesn't demand perfection, it demands persistence. It sees effort in every form, and it respects the person who refuses to quit. Over time, consistency changes how you see yourself. You begin to move from doubt to determination, from insecurity to pride. You stop chasing quick results and start chasing discipline. The mirror starts to reveal not only your physical transformation, but the mental toughness behind it. It shows a person who doesn't rely on chance or luck, but on steady, deliberate effort. Every reflection becomes a reminder that progress comes to those who stay the course. When you build consistency, the gym stops being a place you visit. It becomes part of who you are. The mirror becomes part of your daily routine, your accountability partner, your silent motivator. Each glance tells the story of persistence, of countless days of showing up. The respect it gives isn't about the size of your muscles. It's about the size of your dedication. The reflection honors every day you didn't quit. Consistency may seem ordinary, but it's the foundation of greatness. It's what transforms average effort into extraordinary results. The mirror respects you only when it knows you're not temporary. When you've proven that no matter the weather, the schedule, or the struggle, you'll be there, training, improving, building. That's when the reflection begins to change. That's when the mirror starts to reflect more than a body. It reflects a mindset, a pattern, a truth that can't be faked. The mirror is not just a piece of glass, it is a truth teller. It doesn't care about excuses, words, or intentions. It reflects exactly what you've earned, no more and no less. When you stand before it, you can't hide behind filters, good lighting, or clever words. It sees through all illusions and exposes whether your efforts were genuine or half-hearted. It doesn't lie, and that's what makes it so powerful. In a world full of distractions and false appearances, the mirror keeps you grounded in reality. It forces you to confront your truth. Every repetition you skip, every shortcut you take, every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," the mirror remembers. It becomes the scoreboard of your discipline. You can tell others how hard you train, but the mirror knows the truth. It doesn't care about what you claim. It only displays what you've proven through consistent effort. That's why so many people avoid it, because it doesn't flatter, it doesn't sugarcoat. It silently reflects the gap between who you are and who you could be. The mirror teaches accountability. When you look into it after a workout, it asks you questions without words. Did you give your best today? Did you push beyond your comfort zone? Or did you stop when it got hard? Did you honor your plan or make excuses? These questions echo through your reflection. You can't hide from the person staring back. And that honest confrontation, though uncomfortable, is what leads to real growth. You start realizing that progress only begins when excuses end. It's easy to be dishonest with others, but it's impossible to deceive your own reflection. You know whether you've stayed true to your goals or drifted away. The mirror shows not only physical change, but also the truth of your consistency. It reflects your discipline, your habits, your late nights, your skipped sessions, and your sacrifices. It shows whether you've respected your time or wasted it. And though the truth might sting at first, that honesty becomes the foundation for your transformation. The mirror also reminds you that results can't be faked. No matter how much you talk about fitness or motivation, your body reflects your actions. The lines of your muscles, the energy in your eyes, and the confidence in your stance, they all tell the real story. You may fool people online, but you can't fool the mirror. It has no bias, no emotion, no agenda. It rewards only the disciplined and exposes the lazy. That's why honest reflection is one of the most powerful tools for growth. Sometimes you will stand in front of the mirror and see no visible progress. That's when honesty matters most. You must ask yourself, have I truly given everything I could, or am I expecting results from effort I never gave? The mirror doesn't rush to show you results. It waits until you've earned them. And that waiting period, those silent months of invisible progress, test your patience and honesty more than anything else. It separates those who truly want change from those who just want recognition. Honesty in training goes beyond effort. It's also about balance. The mirror knows when you're overtraining, when you're neglecting recovery, when your diet is out of control. It reflects not just your hard work, but also your discipline in rest and nutrition. A tired, overworked body shows as clearly as a lazy one. The mirror keeps you accountable to every part of your fitness, because true progress is not just about pushing harder, but about being smart and consistent in all areas. When you start being completely honest with yourself, everything changes. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing results. You stop blaming circumstances and start owning your choices. The mirror begins to shift from being your enemy to your mentor. It shows you the raw truth, but also gives you the roadmap. Every imperfection becomes a signal not to give up, but to improve. You begin to see the mirror not as a critic, but as a guide leading you toward your potential. That honesty builds a sense of integrity that goes beyond the gym. When you face your reflection with truth every day, you start living with authenticity. You no longer fear the mirror because you know you've earned the right to look proudly at it. You train harder, you live cleaner, and you make decisions with clarity. The honesty that the mirror demands becomes a lifestyle. You start applying that same truth to every part of your life and your work, your relationships, your purpose. The mirror becomes your daily test of truth, not to judge, but to reveal. It reflects the reality of your effort, the discipline of your routine, and the honesty of your journey. It doesn't rush. It doesn't flatter, it doesn't forgive inconsistency. It waits silently until your reflection aligns with your effort. Every day, it challenges you to look deeper, to be truthful, and to earn the image you want to see staring back. The mirror is not impressed by dreams, it's impressed by discipline. You can stand in front of it and wish for the perfect chest, stronger arms, or broader shoulders, but the mirror doesn't move for wishes. It doesn't react to desire, it responds only to dedication. Many people stand before the mirror every day and imagine the body they want, but only a few walk away and do the work to earn it. The reflection you see isn't built from fantasy. It's carved from sweat, repetition, and consistency that doesn't quit when it's tired. Desire is easy. Everyone wants results. Everyone wants to feel confident, strong, and respected. But desire fades the moment pain appears, the moment sacrifice becomes real. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you become. The mirror never rewards those who only want. It rewards those who show up when motivation disappears. Every rep you complete, every healthy choice you make, every night you sleep early instead of wasting time, that's the language the mirror understands. The mirror is a reflection of how much control you've built over yourself. When you're disciplined, your reflection begins to change, not just in muscle or size, but in posture and confidence. You can see it in your eyes, that steady look that says, "I earned this." But when you break your promises to yourself, the mirror shows that too. It exposes the weight of inconsistency. It shows the tired face of someone who's lost direction. That's why discipline isn't just about working out. It's about mastering your mind before you master your body. Every day you step into the gym, you're making a silent promise to yourself to push, to endure, to grow. And the mirror listens. It sees whether you keep that promise or break it. When you skip a workout, it doesn't punish you. It just shows the truth. It's patient, but it's honest. It records your habits like an unblinking witness. A single day of missed effort may not show, but a pattern of neglect always does. That's why discipline must become your identity, not just your habit. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's waking up when you don't want to. It's training when your body aches. It's saying no to comfort when comfort is calling your name. The mirror doesn't applaud the easy days, it respects the difficult ones. It reflects the effort you gave when nobody was watching, when there was no applause, when only your willpower kept you moving. Every inch of progress in that reflection is a silent reward for every time you chose effort over excuses. There will be days when you question if it's worth it, when you feel like nothing is changing. That's when discipline becomes your compass. Because even when the mirror doesn't show progress, discipline ensures you're moving forward. The body may take time to show results, but discipline shapes your character long before it shapes your muscles. The mirror eventually catches up to that inner growth. It starts to show the strength that was built in silence, the power that was earned in private. Discipline transforms the mirror from your enemy to your ally. When you start living with discipline, the reflection begins to shift. You start to recognize the person staring back. You see not just a body being built, but a mindset being forged. The mirror stops showing who you used to be and starts showing who you're becoming. That's the reward of staying true to your process, even when progress is invisible. Discipline changes your reflection long before it changes your size. It's important to understand that the mirror has no emotions. It doesn't feel sorry for your pain, and it doesn't cheer for your progress. It only reveals truth. If you're disciplined, the truth becomes beautiful. If you're lazy, the truth becomes painful. But both are fair. That fairness is what makes the mirror powerful. It gives back exactly what you've invested. Every moment of control, every ounce of sacrifice, every repetition of focus adds up until the mirror finally reveals the person your discipline created. People often say motivation fades, and they're right. But discipline doesn't need emotion, it just needs direction. Discipline is like gravity, it keeps you grounded when everything else pulls you away. The mirror becomes your reminder that emotion can't build you, only consistency can. The person who relies on motivation changes when they feel like it. The person who relies on discipline changes no matter what they feel. And the mirror knows the difference. The mirror is silent, but it remembers. It holds every record of your discipline, the days you trained when nobody saw, the meals you controlled when cravings tempted you, the nights you rested when you wanted distraction. It captures the invisible moments that build your visible transformation. It reflects not your dreams, but your devotion. The truth is, the mirror doesn't reward those who wish, it rewards those who work. The mirror will not give you what you want when you want it. It doesn't respond to impatience or frustration. It's a silent test, a test that asks, can you keep going when there's no visible change? In the early stages of your fitness journey, you may train for weeks and still see the same reflection staring back at you. That's where most people quit, not because the workout failed, but because their patience did. The mirror waits to see if your commitment is stronger than your doubt. It's not punishing you. It's preparing you to understand that true progress requires time, trust, and consistency that cannot be rushed. Every rep you lift and every drop of sweat that falls is a seed planted in silence. Just like a seed under the soil doesn't show life right away, your body too hides its transformation in the early days. The mirror won't reveal your progress until it knows you've earned it. That's why patience is power. It's the unseen muscle that grows before your physical ones do. The impatient mind looks for daily results, but the disciplined soul looks for daily effort. The mirror watches both and only rewards one. Patience isn't weakness. It's strength under control. It means trusting the process even when the process feels slow. It means believing that every small step forward still counts, even if no one else can see it. The mirror will tempt you to think you're stuck, that nothing is changing, that all your pain is for nothing, but that's the illusion. That's the test of endurance that separates those who want results from those who are meant for results. The mirror delays your reward on purpose because it's not only shaping your body, it's shaping your mind. The mirror has no shortcuts. It will not show progress because you demand it. It will show progress because you stayed long enough to deserve it. That's why patience and perseverance are brothers. One teaches you to wait, and the other teaches you to work while you wait. The mirror listens to both. It sees if you still give your full effort when your reflection looks unchanged. The mirror doesn't lie if you stop, it shows the truth. If you stay consistent, it reveals the truth. The choice is always yours. Most people lose this battle before they even begin. They stand in front of the mirror expecting instant transformation, comparing themselves to others who have been working for years. They forget that greatness is built in seasons, not seconds. The mirror doesn't respond to comparison. It responds to consistency. Your reflection isn't competing with anyone else. It's competing with who you were yesterday. The mirror teaches patience through silence. It makes you face yourself and your progress without distraction. the mirror's silence can be painful. It can make you question your worth, your routine, your progress. But in that silence lies the real lesson. The lesson that transformation is slow because it's meant to be earned. Quick results vanish just as fast, but slow, steady growth lasts forever. The mirror shows nothing for a while because it wants to see if you'll keep showing up even when no one claps for you. That is the mark of someone who doesn't train for attention, they train for mastery. Patience builds something deeper than muscle. It builds mental strength. It teaches you to respect time and to endure discomfort. The mirror will eventually reward you, but only after you've proven that your purpose is greater than your pride. Every day you walk past it without visible progress, but still return the next day, that's victory. Because you didn't need validation to continue, you just needed discipline. The mirror recognizes that energy. It knows when you're working from faith, not frustration. When you learn to be patient, the gym becomes your temple of focus. Every repetition becomes a silent prayer of effort, every drop of sweat a sign of persistence. The mirror no longer defines your worth, it simply reflects your work. It takes time for your body to sculpt, for your strength to rise, for your endurance to harden. But patience is the tool that binds them together. Without it, your effort scatters. With it, your growth compounds. That's why the mirror rewards those who stay. Sometimes the mirror hides progress, so you can find strength in persistence. You may not see new definition in your chest or arms yet, but you'll feel endurance in your breathing, stability in your posture, and sharpness in your focus. These invisible gains are the foundation for the physical gains that come later. The mirror tests you by delaying the visible so that you can strengthen the invisible. It's not being cruel, it's being wise. It's teaching you to love the process, not just the product. Patience with yourself becomes patience with the mirror. When you finally earn progress, it feels different, not just because you look better, but because you understand what it took to get there. You respect your reflection not for what it shows, but for what it represents. Resilience, sacrifice, and time well spent. The mirror stops being a reminder of what you lack and becomes a celebration of what you built through faith, focus, and self-control. The mirror doesn't care about how loud your workouts are, how many people cheer for you, or how often you post your progress online. It only respects what you do when the gym is empty, when the world is asleep, and when no one's there to witness your grind. The reflection you see every morning isn't built under the spotlight. It's built in silence. The mirror rewards those quiet moments of unseen effort, those late nights, early mornings, and countless sessions where it's just you, the weights, and your will. That's where the transformation truly happens, not in front of a crowd, but in solitude where discipline becomes real. When no one's watching, your true character is revealed. That's when you discover whether you're training for approval or for purpose. Many people crave attention, validation, or recognition, but the mirror doesn't respond to any of that. It only reflects consistency, the effort repeated day after day without applause. The mirror doesn't see your likes or followers. It sees your struggle, your form, your fatigue, and your decision to keep going despite all of it. Those who train when unseen develop a kind of strength that no camera can capture, a strength rooted in integrity. Working out alone is where the mental war begins. There's no one to motivate you, no one to tell you to push harder, no one to remind you why you started. It's just you against your own excuses. The mirror becomes your silent accountability partner, observing how often you show up and how deeply you push yourself. Every drop of sweat in solitude carries more weight than 100 cheers in a crowd because it's pure. It's driven by purpose, not pressure. That kind of work shapes not only your body but your mindset, turning you into someone who doesn't depend on external motivation. The greatest transformations are born in isolation. When the world is quiet and the gym echoes only your breathing, that's when you connect with the raw truth of who you are. You learn to embrace struggle without recognition, to find satisfaction in unseen progress, and to measure success not by comparison, but by consistency. The mirror knows who trained through the quiet seasons, those long stretches where progress felt invisible, yet effort never stopped. That invisible work is what the mirror eventually shows, even if it takes months to appear. When you train without an audience, your purpose becomes clear. You're no longer performing, you're progressing. You're not chasing attention, you're chasing improvement. The mirror doesn't reflect fame, it reflects focus. Those who lift when no one's watching are building a foundation too strong to break because it's not dependent on external motivation. That's what separates a temporary fitness phase from a lifelong commitment. The decision to keep going even when no one acknowledges you. Training alone sharpens your mental discipline like nothing else. It teaches you to hold yourself accountable when no one else will. Every time you resist skipping a workout or cutting a set short, you build trust in yourself, and the mirror reflects that integrity back at you. That trust becomes your armor in every challenge, inside and outside the gym. Because once you've learned to stay loyal to your goals in private, nothing in public can shake your confidence again. The mirror also remembers your moments of sacrifice, the times you could have rested but didn't, the nights you chose discipline over distraction, the mornings you woke up tired but trained anyway. It records every silent victory that no one clapped for. And while others see only the physical transformation later, you'll know what truly built it, the hidden grind. The mirror's respect isn't earned through a single workout. It's earned through a series of invisible battles that most people never witness. When you work in silence, the mirror becomes your only witness. It sees the determination in your eyes, the fatigue in your muscles, and the fire in your heart. That fire is something only solitude can ignite. Because in the quiet, there's no distraction, no comparison, just your goal staring back at you. Each rep you perform in isolation adds another brick to the structure of self-respect, and soon that structure becomes unshakable. The mirror doesn't reflect the noise of your surroundings. It reflects the depth of your discipline. Those who depend on attention fade when the attention disappears. But those who depend on discipline rise even in the dark. The mirror knows the difference. It recognizes the worker who builds in silence, who grows in patience, who stays loyal when no one's watching. It's why when your reflection finally changes, it feels sacred because it wasn't handed to you. It was earned through hours of unseen effort. The mirror rewards that kind of honesty, that kind of perseverance, that kind of dedication. When you understand that the mirror sees everything, not just your body, but your habits, you start respecting it differently. It's not your enemy, it's your record keeper. It silently tracks the truth. The late nights, the early mornings, the skipped excuses, and the steady grind. Every time you look into it, it reflects your work ethic, not your words. And that's why only those who train when no one is watching truly gain its respect. The mirror does not respond to what you do sometimes, it responds to what you do all the time. It doesn't care if you had one great workout this week or ate clean for 2 days. The mirror is a reflection of patterns, not moments. It doesn't honor intensity without consistency. You could train harder than anyone else today, But if you disappear tomorrow, the mirror forgets. It remembers the rhythm of your discipline, the pattern of your persistence, and the daily choices that accumulate into transformation. The mirror is fair. It gives you exactly what you've earned, no more and no less. Consistency is the invisible force that shapes your body and mindset. It's not about how fast you go, it's about how long you stay. The mirror recognizes the person who keeps showing up, even when progress feels slow. It sees the small efforts repeated over time and turns them into visible results. Every rep, every healthy meal, every extra hour of sleep adds up quietly behind the glass. That's why those who chase quick results often fail. They expect the mirror to reflect effort before it's matured. The truth is, nothing great ever grows from inconsistency. The mirror is like time, it cannot be tricked. You can't cheat it with shortcuts, fake diets, or half-hearted routines. It's not fooled by sweat if that sweat is temporary. It looks deeper beyond the surface into the consistency of your lifestyle. The reflection you see today is the result of the last few months, not the last few days. Every time you skipped, the mirror recorded it. Every time you stayed consistent, it remembered that too. The reflection is never wrong because it's a reflection of your habits, not your hopes. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds mastery. The mirror responds to the momentum of your discipline, that daily push that doesn't stop when life gets hard. It rewards those who make fitness part of their identity, not just their schedule. When working out becomes who you are instead of what you do, the mirror starts to change without you forcing it. You start to see the difference not because you chase results, but because you've built habits that automatically lead there. That's when consistency becomes effortless and the reflection becomes undeniable. There will be days when you feel nothing is changing, when your progress seems invisible. But that's where most people misunderstand the process. The mirror is always watching. It's just waiting for your consistency to mature into visible change. It doesn't reveal transformation overnight, because real growth takes time to solidify. The person who stays consistent despite the lack of immediate results is the one who eventually earns a reflection that inspires others. The mirror's delay is not denial, it's just testing if you're patient enough to deserve it. The power of consistency lies in repetition, doing the same thing with focus over and over until it becomes part of you. The mirror sees every repetition like a brushstroke painting your transformation. Miss one day and it's a gap. Stay consistent and it becomes art. The masterpiece you see in the mirror one day will not be because of one grand act of effort, but because of 1,000 small acts of persistence that build upon each other slowly, quietly, faithfully. Consistency also sharpens your mindset. It teaches you control, responsibility, and focus. When you commit to showing up no matter what, you build trust with yourself. That trust is reflected in your posture, your confidence, and your discipline. The mirror becomes a reflection of that internal strength. It's no longer just about your muscles. It's about your mindset, the way you carry yourself, the way you stay calm under pressure, the way you refuse to give up. That's the kind of consistency that radiates through every part of your being. Many people underestimate how powerful consistency truly is. They chase perfection and lose momentum. They look for motivation but forget that it's discipline that creates transformation. The mirror isn't impressed by how motivated you are on your best day. It's impressed by how committed you are on your worst. Even on days when you don't feel strong, even when you're tired, even when progress feels distant, that's when consistency counts the most. Because the mirror only respects what you do despite difficulty. When you're consistent, your body starts to follow your mind. Your muscles adapt, your strength increases, and your endurance grows. The mirror begins to shift subtly at first. A hint of definition, a tighter frame, a more confident stance. These small signs are proof that consistency is working quietly behind the scenes. You may not notice it daily, but over time, the reflection transforms into a reminder of your persistence. The mirror becomes a record of your journey, not perfect, but progressing. The mirror reflects truth, and truth takes time to build. If you give your best every day, even in small doses, the reflection will eventually show it. The person who trains once in a while chases temporary glory. The person who trains consistently earns lasting transformation. The mirror knows the difference. It waits, it watches, and when it finally reveals the change, it does so with pride because it knows it's reflecting someone who refused to quit. Someone who proved that small daily effort is stronger than occasional intensity. The mirror does not care how you feel. It does not react to your moods, your bad days, or your excuses. It only responds to your discipline. You can walk into the gym angry, tired, or unmotivated, and the mirror will remain silent. It does not reflect your emotions. It reflects your actions. If you train through your emotions, if you master yourself when your mind wants to quit, then the mirror begins to recognize you. The reflection becomes sharper, stronger, and more defined because it represents not just a body under construction, but a soul under control. Discipline is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. The mirror doesn't care about your passion if it's not backed by persistence. It doesn't care about your motivation if it vanishes after a few days. Emotion is temporary. Discipline is permanent. When you rely on emotions, you move only when you feel like it. But discipline makes you move even when you don't. The mirror can see that. It can tell the difference between a person who trains with feeling and one who trains with focus. And it only rewards the latter. There are days when your body will resist, when your mind will whisper reasons to rest, skip, or delay. That's when the true test begins. The mirror becomes your silent opponent, waiting to see which voice you obey, your emotions or your discipline. If you obey your emotions, you'll find no change, no growth, no victory. But if you obey your discipline, you'll rise above the storm of feelings and build something that lasts. Discipline is not about comfort, it's about commitment. And commitment always leaves a mark, both on your body and in your reflection. The mirror doesn't care about motivation quotes or gym playlists. It responds to repetition, the consistent act of doing what must be done, whether you want to or not. Emotion might get you started, but only discipline keeps you moving. You can't depend on how you feel because feelings are fragile. They shift like the wind, but discipline is the anchor that keeps you steady when everything else feels uncertain. The mirror respects that stability. It sees your control, your order, your self, mastery, and it reflects it back as transformation. When you train from emotion, you chase comfort. When you train from discipline, you chase growth. The mirror can sense which one drives you. Emotion looks for the easy way, fewer reps, lighter weight, shorter sessions. Discipline looks for challenge. It craves the discomfort that creates change. The mirror records every moment of truth. Every time you pushed past what was convenient and reached for what was necessary. Over time, that accumulation of disciplined choices becomes visible. The reflection shifts from ordinary to extraordinary because discipline sculpts what emotion cannot. Emotion will tell you to rest when you should rise, to skip when you should stay, to doubt when you should believe. Discipline silences those voices. It commands your body to follow purpose instead of preference. The mirror reflects that authority. It shows the difference between a person who trains when it's easy and one who trains when it's hard. You can't fake discipline. It's written in every muscle fiber, every ounce of endurance, every layer of determination that shows up in your eyes when you look back at yourself. The strongest version of you is not built on good days. It's built on days when everything feels wrong, but you show up anyway. The mirror remembers those days. It remembers when you trained through pain, through doubt, through exhaustion. It remembers the discipline that spoke louder than every excuse. Every bead of sweat becomes a statement, I showed up. And the mirror never forgets that. That's how discipline rewrites your reflection, not suddenly, but silently, through countless moments of doing what needed to be done regardless of how you felt. Discipline is structure, and structure gives you freedom. Emotion makes you reactive, but discipline makes you proactive. When you control yourself, you control your future. The mirror rewards this mastery by giving you a body that reflects strength, not chaos. It's not just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual alignment. When discipline becomes part of who you are, the reflection becomes calm and confident. It no longer looks for approval or comparison. It simply stands as proof of what self-control can create. The truth is, emotion can make you inconsistent. One day you're driven, the next you're drained. But discipline is steady. It's not moved by emotion or opinion. It keeps you grounded when motivation disappears. The mirror understands that steadiness. It reflects a balance that emotion could never produce. The people who let emotion guide their efforts always find themselves frustrated, wondering why nothing changes. But the ones who live by discipline, they rise quietly, improve daily, and the mirror becomes their silent witness. When you strip away emotion and move with discipline, you train from purpose. You no longer ask, do I feel like it? You say, it must be done. That's the language the mirror understands. It doesn't respond to how you feel today. It responds to what you've done every day. It records effort, not excuses. It reflects consistency, not chaos. And when you've trained long enough, when your discipline outweighs your emotion, the reflection that once felt distant finally begins to match the strength you've been building all along. The mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the full truth to everyone. It only reveals the truth to those who are honest with themselves. When you stand before it with ego, it will show you illusion. But when you stand before it with humility, it will show you progress. Many people look into the mirror and blame genetics, time, or luck. Few are willing to admit the truth that they haven't given their best. Honesty is the foundation of transformation, and the mirror respects that honesty more than anything else. The day you start being truthful about your effort is the day your reflection starts to change. There is a moment in every fitness journey where you must decide whether you'll live in denial or face reality. The mirror becomes the judge of that choice. If you deceive yourself, you'll see confusion. If you confront yourself, you'll see clarity. When you accept that your body reflects your habits, your reflection becomes your teacher. It's not there to criticize, but to guide. The mirror becomes a silent coach, showing you where you've been consistent and where you've fallen short. Honesty allows you to interpret its message correctly, not with pride, but with purpose. The truth hurts, but it also heals. When you look in the mirror after weeks of inconsistency, you might feel disappointed. That pain is valuable. It's the reminder that you can do more. Denial silences that pain, but honesty transforms it into motivation. The mirror is not against you. It simply mirrors back the effort you've invested. The honest athlete uses that reflection not as judgment but as feedback. They don't hide from it, they learn from it. Because only when you're truthful about your flaws can you begin to fix them. Honesty in fitness means more than admitting when you've skipped a session. It means being real about your nutrition, your rest, your discipline, and your mindset. It means understanding that every shortcut leaves a mark, every skipped rep slows progress, and every lie to yourself delays growth. The mirror will always expose the truth eventually. The body can't hide what the mind refuses to face. The more honest you become about your weaknesses, the faster you begin to overcome them. That's how the reflection begins to shift from frustration to fulfillment. When you train with honesty, your goals become realistic, your routine becomes sustainable, and your confidence becomes genuine. You no longer chase fake perfection, you chase consistent improvement. The mirror responds to that authenticity. It rewards patience and punishes deception. Many people pretend they're working hard when they're not, but the mirror knows. It records the truth quietly. It doesn't care about what you post or what you say. It only reflects what you do. And when you face it with a clear conscience, it becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Honesty also means accepting that results take time. The mirror doesn't change overnight because truth builds gradually. The process is slow, but it's real. When you stay true to your plan, even when progress is invisible, the mirror begins to trust you. It starts to show subtle changes, a stronger posture, a firmer chest, a sharper line on your shoulders. These are small signs of big commitment. They're the mirror's way of saying, I see your honesty. And those who stay honest long enough eventually earn reflections that inspire others. There's a kind of peace that comes with honesty. When you stop pretending, you stop feeling pressure to prove. You train not for validation, but for transformation. You look in the mirror not to judge yourself, but to measure how far truth has taken you. Every drop of sweat becomes a declaration of integrity. Every repetition becomes a reminder that your progress is built on authenticity, not illusion. The mirror becomes sacred space, a place of truth between you and the person you're becoming. When you lie to yourself, the mirror becomes your enemy. When you're honest, it becomes your motivator. The difference lies in your mindset. Honesty removes excuses. It exposes what needs work. It reminds you that no one else can do this for you, and when you embrace that truth, you reclaim power over your reflection. The mirror stops being a wall between you and your goals. It becomes a window showing you the next step. The reflection no longer mocks you, it motivates you to continue. Being honest doesn't mean being harsh. It means being real enough to hold yourself accountable with compassion. The mirror shows you both your effort and your potential. It doesn't shame you, it challenges you, it says you can do better. And that message, though difficult at first, is what drives the honest athlete forward. Honesty builds trust, not only with your reflection, but with yourself. Every day you show up truthfully, the mirror shows you a truer version of who you're becoming. When your effort, your mindset, and your reflection align in honesty, everything changes. You no longer look at the mirror hoping for transformation. You look at it knowing it's already happening. The mirror becomes a reflection of truth, not illusion, and that truth gives you peace, confidence, and power. It becomes clear that the mirror was never your enemy. It was simply waiting for you to be honest enough to see what it was truly showing all along. Excuses are the easiest thing to build, but they build nothing. When you stand in front of the mirror, it doesn't care about the reasons you didn't show up. It doesn't care about how tired you were, how busy your day was, or how hard your week has been. The mirror doesn't record your excuses, it only records your effort. It reflects what you've earned, not what you've explained away. Discipline is the only language it understands. It doesn't respond to promises or intentions, it responds to consistency and hard work. Discipline is the silent force behind every great transformation. It's not loud or dramatic, it's quiet, steady, and unshakable. The mirror notices it long before the world does. When you show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, the mirror starts to respect you. It begins to reveal strength. Now I'm the only one. It doesn't happen quickly. The mirror tests patience. It challenges your willpower. It demands that you stay faithful to your grind long enough to prove you're serious. Excuses are comforting because they protect your pride, but discipline is uncomfortable because it confronts your truth. The mirror doesn't comfort you, it challenges you. It waits for the moment you stop until I walk awake, free of my mind. I shout, the ground shakes. And begin saying, I'm doing it today. That's when the reflection starts to shift. Every disciplined choice compounds. Every skipped excuse builds strength. The mirror begins to capture that commitment, turning it into visible progress that can't be taken. When you live by discipline, your body becomes a reflection of your priorities. Every rep, every meal, every night of rest becomes a deposit in your future. Excuses are withdrawals, they take away from what you've built. The mirror keeps score. It rewards those who invest daily and exposes those who spend their time avoiding the grind. You can't cheat the mirror, and you can't fool the process. It knows what you've done with it when no one is watching. The reflection is proof of your private discipline, not your public talk. Discipline means showing up on the days you don't feel motivated. It means working through soreness, fatigue, and boredom. It means saying no to distractions that weaken your resolve. The mirror doesn't reward bursts of effort. It rewards consistent control. It reveals who has mastered themselves and who hasn't. True discipline is built when no one claps. When no one notices your effort, and when you keep going anyway. That's when you earn the kind of progress that no excuse could ever justify missing. The mirror doesn't react to emotion, it reacts to repetition. Excuses are emotional, discipline is logical. Excuses say it's hard, but discipline says it's wise. Excuses whisper comfort, discipline speaks. The mirror stands silent but attentive, watching your voice your If you listen to excuses, the reflection remains the same. If you listen to discipline, the reflection evolves. Over time, you begin to see that the mirror isn't your critic, it's your accountability partner. It shows you the consequences of your choices with perfect honesty.
Oh, I just wanna feel so free.
Yeah,
I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. Yeah, I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really real focused on success. Hey, y'all won't see. Yeah, you won't see that I will get it. Cause I'm really focused, man. I make it with the rap and I just follow my path. I just follow my passion. To me, this is what's precious. Yeah, and my soul, man, I can feel it. So every single first, man, I just gotta go and kill it, man. I gotta be the kid. I could be the guy taking you wild. I could be the villain, as good as a kid. Lately, I'm painting my path on my way. Yeah, I got no time that I can waste. So I've been sitting in the space. Yeah, making rest every day, man. You know that I go insane. Yeah, I hate you with the bullet to the brain. Let us that first, cause we going and going insane.
You make build the wall between you and the reflection you desire. Every disciplined choice breaks that wall down. The mirror teaches you this lesson daily. It doesn't scold you, it doesn't spare you. It gives you the pure truth, a reflection of what you've chosen to prioritize. Discipline doesn't just change your body, it reshapes your character. It teaches you consistency, patience, and humility. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and strengthen your will. The mirror reflects
You don't know what I'm gonna
as
do.
clearly as it
You don't know what it's
reflects
next.
your muscle.
And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have been trusting the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. When we went to hours, you barely got rest. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. When we go in, we win in the match. So that's how we do, cause we be the best. We be the best, yeah, we be the best, bro. Yeah, we be the best, yeah, we be the best, hey. Yeah, we be the best, hey. We be the best, yo. You wanna come on my test, you want to see we the best, hey. You don't see that we're the best kid, so I suggest you never really come and test it. But otherwise, I will smack your face like Michael Jordan does with a ball in the basket. Oh damn kid, but you didn't expect it. You never really thought that this could just happen. But now already come on and we pull out with the action. Cause people defeat, those they don't get it like.
The mirror becomes your tester, not your source of validation. It stands there waiting, patient and honest, reflecting the life you've built through your actions. And when discipline becomes your daily language, the mirror begins to speak back in strength, confidence, and power that excuses could never translate. Respect is not given. It's earned through persistence, consistency, and the quiet grind that no one else sees. The mirror doesn't respect your potential, it respects your proof. It doesn't bow to your dreams, it responds to your discipline. For months, it may look like nothing has changed, but in truth, the mirror is watching. It's observing your habits, your decisions, and your sacrifices. It's measuring whether your talk aligns with your action. And only when your actions start to outweigh your excuses does the mirror begin to shift. The relationship between you and the mirror is one of truth and transformation. It cannot lie to you, it can only reflect. For many, that reflection becomes the enemy because it exposes what you haven't done. But over time, through sweat and repetition, through mornings when you could have slept and nights when you could have slept, the mirror begins to change its tone. It starts to reflect effort, not hesitation. It starts to show pride, not disappointment. The day you respect your own effort is the day the mirror starts to respect you back. Respecting the mirror begins long before you see physical results. It begins with the small choices you showing up when you're tired, giving your best when you fail, when you crave junk, resting when you need recovery, and staying disciplined when no one's around to notice. These moments might feel invisible. The mirror cannot reflect what has been, and it cannot lie. It shows the truth, and the truth so hard is what earns respect. Every time you stand before that mirror, you are facing the reality of your consistency. If you respected the process, it will show. If you have cheated the process, it will also show. The mirror doesn't exaggerate your progress, nor does it hide your shortcomings. It tells the exact story of your effort, written in sweat and sacrifice. Over time, this honesty becomes history. You start fearing the mirror, and you start using it as your compass. Your reflection becomes your feedback, not your judgment. When you start respecting the mirror, you begin to train differently. You stop chasing attention, and you start chasing mastery. You don't lift for validation, you lift for progress. You don't train to impress others, you train to conquer yourself. You stop complaining about pain, because you realize pain is the language the mirror understands. Every rep, every drop of sweat, every moment of exhaustion becomes a message sent to your reflection, I'm earning your respect. And slowly, that message gets answered. Respect from the mirror isn't about the size of your muscles. It's about the strength of your character. It's about your ability to endure, to show patience when results are slow, and to keep faith in your process when no one else believes in it. The mirror rewards humility, not arrogance. It rewards effort, not ego. It shows pride in those who respect their bodies, their time, and their goals. It reflects the heart of the one who works with purpose, not the one who trains for applause. The day you start seeing progress, it's not just your body changing, it's your mindset evolving. You begin to stand taller, not just because your posture improves, but because your self-respect grows. The mirror begins to smile back at you, not out of flattery, but out of recognition. It recognizes the person who refused to quit, who embraced the grind, and who didn't depend on shortcuts. This moment isn't just about appearance, it's about identity. You've earned the respect of the one thing that cannot be fooled, your reflection. Every drop of sweat, every rep of struggle, every ounce of fatigue becomes a silent conversation between you and the mirror. It's not judging you, it's waiting to see what kind of person you'll become. Will you fold under pressure, or will you rise through it? Will you seek excuses, or will you seek progress? Respecting the mirror means respecting the process that leads to progress. It means holding yourself accountable every single day, not because anyone's watching, but because you know that reflection never lies. When you respect the mirror, your perspective on training transforms. The mirror no longer represents vanity. It becomes a measure of truth. It becomes your most honest trainer, one that tells you what's real without a single word. It becomes a tool for self-improvement, not self-judgment. And through that respect, you realize the mirror wasn't your enemy all along. It was your greatest teacher. It showed you where you stood and what you needed to become. The respect you give it reflects the respect you've built for yourself. Respecting the mirror is about living with integrity in your fitness journey. It's about understanding that every visible result is born from invisible discipline. It's about training your body with sincerity and your soul with patience. The mirror rewards effort that's rooted in consistency and humility. When you've truly respected the grind, the mirror will finally show you something worth looking at. Not perfection, but proof that you never gave up. Proof that you earned every inch of progress through sheer will, focus, and discipline. One day, you'll stand before that same mirror, the one that once mocked you, the one that once made you doubt yourself, and you'll notice something different. You won't see disappointment anymore. You'll see a warrior. You'll see patience carved into your shoulders, consistency written across your chest, and faith shining through your eyes. The mirror will look back at you with respect because it will know the truth. You earned every inch of that progress. The mirror that once showed weakness will now reflect strength. It will remind you that real change wasn't born from comfort, but from struggle. It will remind you that your worth was never in your reflection. It was in your resilience. You'll finally understand that the mirror was never your enemy. It was your teacher, your test, and your truth. And on that day, you won't just see your body. You'll see the man who refused to give up, the one who earned not just the mirror's respect, but his own.